All right, we are live. All right. Thank you for everyone that's on. If anyone is on at this moment, welcome back to Behind the Scene. This is our second episode, and for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, Behind the Scene is a live stream series about filmmaking and storytelling, and it's just like two filmmakers talking about all things filmmaking. And you will also hear my dog if you hear him. He hates everything. So uh, I'm here on this episode with Nolan, who I met just this past October at the San Diego Filipino Film Festival. He's an award-winning director, but as I know it, he wants to be more of a cinematographer, which I totally relate to. So, and like Nolan and our friends, like we vibed right away. We still very much are like getting to know each other, and I'm excited because like as you get to know him, I'm also getting to know him. So yeah, Nolan, like if you want to just like uh introduce yourself and who you are as a filmmaker and all that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I hope. Yeah, you still like me once you get to know me. No, yeah. I feel like you covered it all already. The filmmaker. I mainly started out as a camera person. I think a lot of filmmakers do. Um, just documenting like my family's life, not even my life because I am probably hardly in my own footage. But yeah, no, mainly started, just like everyone, like, shooting videos when you're a kid, and then slowly it just turned into what it is now.
Cool. Sweet. I mean, I totally relate to that. I definitely was always like the photographer or like, the documenter um around the family friends. Like I barely have photos of myself. And it's just like usually just like me or like I always have to just do like the one selfie on like iPhone and like that's all I get. But everyone else has like
Yeah.
nice pictures of them. And I'm just like, whoa, it must be nice to have me as a friend. Just
Oh
kidding.
yeah, I'm sure they appreciate it.
Okay. Um, but no, I totally relate to that. So yeah, no, I mean, I kind of just like want like this whole series is just like get to know filmmakers and like understanding that there's no one path
Yeah.
to this, and I think we all like as filmmakers, right? We all want to make films, but I think even our ideas of like success and what it means to like have a meaningful career or even just like life at large is like different. So I guess like we'll start off with like when did you know you wanted to pursue filmmaking and like was it, I know you already talked about like you always like documented it, your family and like your friends and all that, but like was there like any like a moment, even if it was like the most mundane thing, but I think I'm interested in hearing that.
Okay. Uh, yeah. No, I don't think there was ever like a I didn't have like my revelation, my moment. Like that was just a singular thing. I guess that's kind of probably rare, but no, I think there was just this period of time, yeah, where it became it became something more real, I guess, like that, where I really have always been like, just like taking photos and videos and like point and shoot cameras, and that's definitely not to say that it was any good. But I think probably in high school is when it became kind of like real to me that that's such a thing that you could do. And even then, high schoolers don't know it. I mean, at least I'll speak for myself. As
Yeah.
a high schooler, I didn't know. I didn't really know what anything was. So yeah, I think probably if you want to go, the earliest moment that maybe could have put me on that path was at the local community college. There used to be summer classes for,
Mhm.
they called it college for kids. I don't know. And this, yeah. So where you could like just take different like, a child's version of a college course, I guess, in different classes. And I did video editing. The class wasn't really about like making your own footage. And I guess you could have, but I
Yeah.
didn't. It was more about editing. So, and some people did, and but Yeah, no, I think we can get to that later too, but
Yeah.
I think that's also kind of like where like my love of editing came into
Mhm.
play,
Mm.
and so, but that's probably one of the earliest moments that was like specifically tied to film that I think
Yeah. Yeah.
played a
Yeah, I
role
mean, I
for
think we
me.
definitely grew up in an age where it's just like, I mean, even the past 5 years, like,
Oh yeah,
mirror DSLR cameras, like, it's insane how
uh-huh.
you can shoot, 4K with something you spend less than $1,000 on.
Yeah,
But no, I mean, I think I did like I had a similar path of like I never really thought like, oh, I just like to like put together like existing footage, right?
yeah.
Just like stuff you pull off of YouTube or online, and like, or even just like I would make like slideshows for
Oh no, yeah.
like stuff
Oh
like that.
yeah.
Like you don't think of it as like a thing. It's just like I like to do this. It's fun.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
We can count slideshows as I would count that as early filmmaking because
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I've been there
It's
too. iMovie,
iMovie. I even had
Ken
I was
Burns
on
effect. You did
I
what?
I did Windows Movie Maker actually.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Um, yeah, I mean, I know like the origins part is like, and I think a lot of people think that like there is like a pivotal moment, and I think most of it is just kind of like it comes
Yeah,
back to like it keeps like it's just like a pattern that we keep finding in our lives, whether again what visual arts, whatever. Like I was definitely more on like the graphic design track, but then I
uh,
realized like but moving pictures are much cooler and fun than like sitting at Photoshop or Illustrator for hours. But anyways, before we get into like more of like present day stuff, I forgot to start us off with some like rapid fire questions. Just like these
oh
are
man.
things, and like don't think about it too much. So all right.
Okay. Fine, actually.
This first one is hard, but favorite movie.
Oh man. Uh, The Empire Strikes Back. It's pretty
Okay.
basic.
Okay. Cool. Favorite TV show.
Wow, I will disrespect a lot of our favorite shows if I think right now, let's just say right now it's Better Call Saul. We'll just say that.
Okay. Okay. Favorite filmmaking tool.
Velcro.
Velcro. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Cool. My last guy said diffusion, which is such a cinematographer.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Um,
Yeah.
and then dream project. Like if
Dream project.
would you $50 million, like what would you make right now?
Uh, Sci-fi for sure.
Okay. Sweet.
Something
Sci-fi.
something big and stupid.
Sweet. All right. That's fun. I know I said favorite movie, but did you have like a favorite movie as like a kid growing up?
Oh, as a kid, I think I watched a lot of Disney movies as a kid.
Yeah.
So probably when I mean at least when I was like a small child, it was definitely Toy Story.
Ooh,
Um,
I just watched Toy Story
yeah,
2 recently, and like not the original one, but like Toy Story 2, and I'm like, oh dang, this is a really good movie still. It's a
yeah,
really
no, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Toy Story 2 is up there.
Yeah.
That's a great sequel.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. It's really good sequel. Okay, sweet. Well, thanks for doing that and not thinking too
yeah.
hard because I know a lot of
No,
people. I know the favorite movie
I,
question is
I
always so hard because I'm like, oh dang, if I answer, it's gonna make me feel like a fraud. Like, oh, I'm not cinematic enough. I'm not because like I usually say, funny enough, I usually say Nacho Libre, and
oh,
people get
that's a
so
good one.
thrown off by that. Because like I don't want to make Nacho Libre s films, but like I love Nacho
Yeah,
Libre.
no, that's really cool. I think it's actually, I think it's interesting when yeah when people have a favorite film, but as a filmmaker, you recognize that that's kind of just like not what you
Yeah,
do. But still,
yeah.
yeah. No, there's plenty of funny movies I like that I like couldn't do because I'm not funny. So, but I really love them. So,
Yeah, it's like I'm not trying to do
yeah,
that, but it's like it's a film that I can watch over and over again and like not get tired of. Like I know every line.
mm, yeah.
So yeah, cool. Well, okay. Well, okay, let's like let's fast forward to like today, present day, Nolan. Like, what is he doing? Like, who is he? And like, I actually don't know. Like, what do you do for a living? Like, let's get like, are you a
Yeah.
freelancer? Yeah.
Yeah, I've the past couple years, maybe a few years now. Yeah,
Okay.
I've really just dove into freelance work.
Okay.
Um, and that's been good. A lot of weddings.
Mm.
And then yeah, just odd jobs here and there and helping out the family too. So, but I'm in the middle of a career change kind of that I won't get into on on this. It's not that spicy. I'm making it sound really like super, ooh, but no, yeah. I'm definitely doing other stuff other than film. But in
Okay.
terms of film, lots of freelance work, and it's really rewarding. Weddings are really rewarding because as it is, it's such an important day for the couples. So
Yeah.
being that person that they trust to take care of it is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Stressful.
it's a rush. It's a rush for
Yeah,
sure.
I was just like,
But,
it's
yeah,
like stressful, but there's like the adrenaline aspect to it too, where it's just kind of like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Cool. No, I mean that's so funny because I mean I'm pretty sure I've told you before. Like you remind me of like my older brother, and he actually does weddings. Like that's his full-time thing, and I think
Really? Oh, you didn't do that. That's
yeah,
cool.
I mean he does mostly photography nowadays, just because like photography it's much easier to well
Oh, you don't
charge
gotta tell me that.
and like
Oh, I know.
takes less time.
Yeah.
No, I mean not
I
saying
mean,
it can be quick.
no. The nice thing about photos is you can frame a photo. You can't frame a video. I already
Yeah,
know. So
and like
having having done both, I will say video is harder.
yeah.
But no, photos.
Yeah,
Respect. There's a lot of
especially
respect
for,
there.
like, if you are an editor and you love editing, like, you wanna make that edit the best thing ever, but, like,
Oh yeah.
the more time you take on it, obviously, you know,
Yeah.
the less money you're making. Not that it's all about the money, but
Oh, it's true. No, you gotta eat. It's true.
yeah, you gotta eat. But yeah, that's really cool. Um, I would say, like, in terms of obviously, we're not gonna go to career change, but, like, obviously, like, being a filmmaker is, like, challenging, so, like,
Yeah.
I understand, like, that and, like, knowing that, like, having to I don't wanna use the word rely, but, like, really pursuing filmmaking is a scary thing. I'm trying not to cuss because we're on YouTube right now.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I think
Demonetized.
what's, like, the biggest, like, challenge for you? And it doesn't have to be, like it could be life related or even just like as a filmmaker, like what do you find yourself as not your strength and like you have to really kind of put your focus towards?
Ooh. In like the whole filmmaking process or like filmmaking as a career or
Let's go with process and then we can talk about career.
all right, a process. Oh man. I think what I struggle with in narrative work is probably I don't want to oversell how bad of it is for me, but usually it's pre-production, and
Mm,
it's not that I don't appreciate pre-production. I do, but I think it's because I get too deep in the weeds of it,
mm,
which is never. If you ask a producer that, they'll probably tell you that's not a bad thing.
mm,
But
yeah.
yeah, no, sometimes, maybe it's more that I just sometimes I have big ideas that don't make really any sense.
Yeah.
But and that early on, okay, here I found it. Okay, um, yeah, in college, I would just sometimes I would focus. I was so like so focused on trying to do something that like I wasn't seeing done around me that spectacle would like spectacle would sometimes overtake like story or even just like
Mm,
the whole process,
yeah.
even if the story wasn't like fantastical or like, you know, the story wasn't something spectacle at all, just like getting like a really cool location became like really important, which
Yeah.
is always important.
Yeah.
And then this also like this is tied to that. Wearing too many hats,
Mm,
became problems at
mhm,
times
mhm.
where yeah, you can't direct that well if you're also running video and you're
Yeah.
also moderating sound and you're also the production designer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just now I'm just speaking about being a film student, so it's not really that. Maybe a film student at a less funded school.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, 'cause I know that that's not so much a problem at other schools, where specialization is,
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think just kind of definitely just being spread too thin was a
Mhm.
challenge. But I learned the hard way. But thankfully now, having learned the hard way too many times, I hope I don't. I feel like I won't make that mistake anymore.
Yeah, it's like, you know what it was like when you did kind of like put too much on your plate, and it's like, let me not do that to myself. But
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a little bit of time for that to really sink in. I definitely like also feel you. I mean, I went to SCSU, you went to UCSD. I'm
I know.
actually
I see you. I see you
you're
repping the shirt.
you're repping your school.
I should have worn a state shirt today.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's the same thing. It's like we're not funded like a USC or UCLA. So yeah, we definitely have had to be scrappy out of necessity. It's like that's the only way you're gonna get your film made. But now that like we're adults and like money is a thing and we do have to make a living, it's like it's probably not the most like cost effective or even just like in terms of our general health to like for me to do everything.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
really hard. Like it's good that I virtually could do everything, but like nah, that's the fastest way to burn out. And like more and more I'm like, yeah, I kind of just want to specialize on camera, but obviously the caveat is like I have to just be like turned on most things because like nah, I want to do camera. No, I want to
Mm,
do camera. And it's like, well, I want you to do it all. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it all anymore.
yeah,
So I'll totally get that. I was gonna say something else, I forgot. But
that's okay.
yeah, I mean, I feel like that kind of bleeds into that was like process focused, but I feel like that also bleeds into like career rise too, where it's like we live in such a funny world, especially like if we're gonna stay here in San Diego, which like I'm not
Mm,
trying to go to LA, right? It's even harder of
yeah,
wanting to just
for sure.
specialize because we don't have it's not Hollywood here. So like that's a struggle, but also I mean I kind of alluded to it in the beginning. Like I think in terms of like what I see for my life at large and not just like my career, it's like um I don't know. Like, I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm gonna figure it out. Like, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
go to LA. I mean, I'll go to LA periodically, but like, I'm not trying to live there and do the whole
Mm,
Hollywood. And maybe to a lot of people, that sounds like okay, then like you don't actually want to do film, do you? I'm like, well, I do, but it looks different than what you think it is.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
beautiful thing. There's so many, like you said earlier. There's so many different paths. There's so
Hmm.
many different ways about this, and there is no really wrong way.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I know, you are making it work, and I know you'll keep making it work. LA's not too far either. Being in San Diego is nice because you kind of have your own little like pocket,
Yeah.
of a little market, but then also LA, like it's right there. So
Yeah. For sure. For
I
sure.
think I think it's the best of both worlds for what you're trying to do, especially. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Well, now that we talked about like the challenges and stuff, like, but what's your like favorite part? Like, what is the thing
Mm.
that's like, regardless of what makes you money or, whatever, like, what about filmmaking is just like keeps you coming back? That's
Uh,
kind words.
yeah. I don't know. Man. I mean, it's easy. It's easy just to say like, you know, shooting nice images. That's a given.
Yeah.
I think for sure I like, especially in indie filmmaking too, and like experimental filmmaking and low budget or whatever. Improvising is that's pretty fun. I think that probably taps into the same area as like having to shoot event coverage, like weddings.
Mm.
It's like and debuts. I forgot to mention
Yeah.
Filipinos, lots of Filipinos in San
Okay.
Diego, lots of debuts, almost as many debuts as there are weddings. So similar, similar method there. But yeah, I think the improvising is probably what I don't. I now that I think about it, that's probably what keeps me going because it's always different, and it's
Mm-hmm.
always rewarding to like find pull out your tool badge of like, whether it be your actual badge of clamps or something, or like your tool badge mentally, and like figure out a pretty tough problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a new way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's like, in terms of like what keeps me coming back, is like that's like my second reason to keep coming back from. Like you say, like what are you saying? Like being able to improvise. It's just another way to say like problem solving. And I personally view creativity as like, as a whole, as problem solving. Like you're taking however many parts and like making it make sense, making it whatever you're trying to do. I mean, obviously it's hard, if you are able to collaborate. I love to be able to collaborate. I think a lot of us, again, like we still have to be like one person crews every once in a while, especially if we are doing freelance, like full suite video production. But I love collaborating. But yeah, the problem solving part and the improvisation, I can't even speak, right? Is like also what I really love. It's just like, as you said, like every set or every experience, every shoot is different. And in that way, I found too that like you get to explore the world by meeting the people that you're working with, right?
Yeah.
I've definitely been like, how many different people's like houses that I would never like go to, and like whether they live on like a vineyard or they live in like a really nice house in like La Jolla. I'm like, I would never come here, but I am here now because I'm shooting something, which is like, I think it's cool. And also just like meeting, even if they're not even like directly involved in the film, but it's like, I own this property, and then you're like, okay, like what do you do? Like, I think that's so interesting.
No, there's a lot of stories and a lot of interesting folk to meet in the film.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any like projects that you're working on currently? I mean, if you can talk about it, like you're excited about, or even like just like an idea seedling.
There's something in the summer maybe.
Okay.
I'm doing a few. Yeah, there's still some like freelance jobs right now that are actually a little more creative than normal, so that's kind of fun.
Good. Yeah.
I'll say that. Get to do some weird stuff. And no, I'd like to do another narrative short soon.
Yeah.
But only as fast as my fingers can type or my brain can think. But there's stuff. There's always, oh man. And my sister's turning 18, or she just turned 18 already. But I'm doing like the montage,
Yep. You're a designated montage maker too, huh?
Oh yeah, no, I've made like 5 already so far.
Yeah.
So that's fun. That's also rewarding, similar to like a wedding or whatever, because you have to look at all these baby videos and photos and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, people are already gonna cry. Like it's a given. Like even if it was made.
Oh yeah, even if it's bad.
Movie maker, but like to really like, I'm like, did you notice how I made it a story?
Oh yes.
I mean, I can only talk about it with my brother because he will like notice that stuff. But yeah, I geek out on that stuff.
Oh yeah, no yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. I wasn't even looking. I was crying. I didn't. No, I feel you there.
Yeah, it's like
it's the little things.
It's really the little things too. Yeah. So, someone's here. Hi, Rich. Sorry, someone's watching. My friend Rich is watching.
Oh, hello, Rich.
He's a vlogger / just YouTuber extraordinaire. So what's up?
Well, you don't have to be sorry you're late because
as we're happy that you're here. Cool.
Oh, how was that?
Hi, Serena. Yes.
Thanks.
It's good to meet someone else that is designated montage slideshow maker, because that is. I've done weddings, 80th birthdays.
I feel like if nothing else, we can connect on that level.
So Scifi.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Do you have a idea, or like what kind of sci-fi film would you like to make?
Um, I'm at a point now where, um, you know, recognizing what my like space in the film industry is or whatever, it's definitely, yeah, like, and this is advice I've heard, and it's good advice. Is probably, if you're an indie filmmaker, you probably shouldn't be trying to make a movie that like Hollywood is making. Like, you're just gonna fail every time. Or if you, I mean, it's possible. I won't say it's impossible.
Okay. Well, let's just dream.
But
Like you have the
oh
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
money in your pocket, and Serena's already asking me. Ask him about Filipinos in space, and I was going to. So good.
Oh yeah.
Mind.
That's the working title. You know how films have like, like favorite movie, I guess, episode 5, it was called Blue Harvest in the working title, so that like people wouldn't find out what it is. That's what's on the slate and all that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of working titles nowadays, but my working title is Filipinos in Space because that's all I have. No, I have other stuff, but that's where it started. Was just I wanted to cast Filipinos or just like Asians in a role in a sci-fi film, but specifically this film being about. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that cool, but yeah, something like, something that, yeah, just Starship Troopers. I mean, that's a whole thing right there about just being, what's the word? Man, there's gonna be a lot of dead airs, I think, about what word I'm talking about.
It's okay. No, you're good. You're good. I mean,
no, but yeah. Yeah, no, just using film as a then. Oh, okay. Here, the nice thing about sci-fi is that you have films like Starship Troopers, and almost all sci-fi films. You can use sci-fi as like as a means for like allegory. You can talk about social issues. You can talk about political issues, and people might not even realize that's what you're talking about. So there's a lot of issues for us as Filipino Americans.
Yeah.
That I feel, for a lot of immigrants in the U.S., sci-fi is could be a great conduit for that.
Yeah.
For Starship Troopers, I feel like it's done so well that people, take it at face value, and they don't even realize that it's like satire. So
yeah.
I don't know if I would go that route, but yeah, that was probably the messiest answer of the day.
No, hey, it's really cool. I mean, if anyone asked me today, I'm just like, I'm at the point where it's just like, I'm just happy to like help make shit. Oh, sorry, YouTube.
There it is. No AdSense from this one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, a lot of us fighting for representation, we do have stories that we'd like to tell. Like, if I get back into the director's seat, I definitely do have stories like from my grandparents that obviously I would, that's kind of the seed, and then like build off of.
Yeah.
I'm definitely like interested in like their generation, like Vietnam and all of that, like that generation. Obviously, as a second generation, I definitely have my own experiences, but I just don't think they're as like interesting, at least not yet. Like it needs some time to like age and marinate and all that. But just like wanting to see like, again, like Filipinos in like a war movie where like they're the main cast and not just like, oh, the Filipinos helped out here, that's it, and then one scene and then that's it. Like no, there's more to that.
There's a lot of material there.
Yeah. So I don't have a straight answer for you either, so don't even worry about it.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think something that is very interesting that's going on, like just film and like not even just like obviously Filipinos, but like Asian Americans or just AAPI. You've seen the latest Spider-Man, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry if you guys haven't seen Spider-Man yet, but
Oh,
like, anyways, I think
spoil it.
that's actually a very interesting. I wouldn't even call it approach, but like I like the idea of like representation in the way that Spider-Man did it. Like it was a very quick scene. It was probably the most pivotal scene in the movie, obviously, if you've seen it and know what I'm talking about. But like to not subtitle, right, the native
Yeah,
tongue. I
yeah,
don't speak Tagalog, but I know someone that I was with like my girlfriend who speaks, and she cracked up, and like I'm like I feel like that is a more genuine way to approach like representation rather than just like this person is XYZ. You should feel seen. Like I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I appreciate that. And even just like seeing like Lola's, dining room table or her living room, I'm like, yeah, that's what it looks like. I feel
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. I think you're looking at you're recognizing like the specificity of it, and like
Mhm.
that it's and like when you're that specific and like that authentic, then that reads as genuine and not just
Yeah.
like a
We'll speak to the people who like have lived that experience
mm,
rather than trying to like force a situation or force like a feeling even.
yeah,
But obviously that's always going to be like a challenge to capture. But I was like, I appreciate that. And I think too. I think that the like talk of like representation. I think also it's like we as Filipino, or at least Filipino Americans, can speak on like, yeah, that's a good representation of a Filipino American. Whereas like we couldn't speak towards that towards like Black Americans or even Chinese Americans, like because we don't live that experience. So I think people
mm,
also need to recognize that too. It's like who are we to say that's the lived experience of a group that we're not exactly part of? So
yeah.
yeah, that too. So nuanced.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But obviously I
It
still find like joy in watching like have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once yet?
No, that's probably on the top of my watch list.
Very good. Yeah, yeah.
So
It's very good. So obviously again I think there are still nuances of like being Asian in America, but
mm,
obviously there are things that are probably so specific to a Chinese American family that I didn't pick up on, but maybe someone who is Chinese American did.
yeah,
So yeah, there's something to appreciate, I think, for everyone. But yeah, we just want to see people that look like us.
yeah.
Then,
It's pretty simple.
yeah.
It really is.
But yeah, uh, I was gonna say something. I hate that. I was gonna say something, but then I lost it.
You got so much going on up there. That's why.
Yeah, always, always. Um, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen you. I saw
I
you
had
like a month ago, but like it
like
was really
two
quick.
maybe like two
Yeah, a
months
month or two ago
in a
at Barnes and
Starbucks.
Noble.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like in terms of like I know at the film festival this might have changed, but like you're talking about like how you feel more like a cinematographer lately, at least as of that time. But
mm.
like talking to you now, I'm like, no, this guy's a director. Not to like label
Oh,
you, but like I just like I don't know. I just feel it. Like you have the ideas flowing and like
mm.
I'm definitely not like I think I told you like I'm not like a conceptualizer. I can definitely sit here and help you make your idea better, but like don't ask me for ideas. Don't have me.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely like I think that's where like why I appreciate like the collaborative aspect of filmmaking
Mm.
because like yeah you can do it alone, but like oh it's so much easier and so much more enjoyable when you have other people and you
Oh
help.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, some of the yeah, and I think this is the case for almost every production. I feel like some of what like a lot of what like makes them great is that yeah, you have I mean, in anything that you have different voices and different perspectives, and then they all kind of synergize.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
film, especially art, especially, but filmmaking is such a collaborative art form.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Love it. Yeah, it's funny, like I'm like starting to get back onto like actual like whether it's a short film or whatever like sets like where there's actually like departments going on.
Ooh.
And like it's one of those things where I'm like, oh my god, I miss this because right when like you are a freelancer, like freelance videographer, let's call it that, like you have to just kind of like worry about it all. You don't have time necessarily to kind of just like focus on one thing and just like get really good at it. And I'm like, oh my god, I miss just like being really good at something and not having to bounce all over the place. And anything I found myself having to kind of like relearn, like, no, you don't have to be everywhere at once. You can just be here in your department and chill. At the same time, though, I'm very good at anticipating what people need because I'm like, "Ooh, they need this next."
You're doing a good job selling yourself to production crews right now. She loves collaborations. Her favorite part of filmmaking, and she's. This is where you need to superimpose your contact info right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, obviously you've been in the director chair, you've been in the cinematography chair. Is there any like when you're helping out, right? If anyone like a buddy asks you to come help out, like, is there any role that you're like, I will absolutely do this for you as long as you feed me?
Oh man, yeah, I'm such a great friend that I do stuff like that. No, yeah, I think I've done, yeah, definitely camera work. I've edited, PA'd and stuff. I would probably take on anything, yeah, except for something that I feel like I would be a liability in. I'm good at I'm decent at sound. I think I'm good at sound mixing.
Yeah,
Really good at sound mixing, but
that's important.
field recording, I can do it, but I know that I'm not the best at that. So I have been asked before to be a sound like a field recordist, but only if you can't find anyone else, because I
That
I
still
don't
means
want
that
to. I don't
whoever
want
asked you trusts you a lot.
What was that?
I said whoever asked you trusts you a lot because like you don't just ask anyone to do sound. Like even if like
Yeah.
you know that person is not really a sound person, it's like, well, I at least trust you.
No, yeah, sound is so underlooked, or I mean, at least in the early. I feel like for like newer filmmakers, sound is so over. I'd say underlooked, overlooked. But yeah.
Underlooked.
Yeah, so I would do it. Obviously, I would like to DP for people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, any of that really.
Yeah.
I probably would not do a colorist job because I just know that I have friends who are like actually good at that,
Really good
and at color, and I know that I'm just getting by.
Yeah.
So I also would not take that job. But
yeah, after being like a generalist for like the past 4 years, like I obviously don't think I'm like terrible, but like at the same time I'm like, oh, someone who actually does like that one thing and that one thing along. I'm like, I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to
that.
I kind of just to get by.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm definitely like there are definitely like certain like habits or bad habits that I've like gotten into where I'm like a non-video or film person would never know. But if a film person were to look over my shoulder and see how I'm doing, it would be like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. That's totally that doesn't happen.
It's like, hey, we're all frauds in some respects.
Oh yeah, faking it always until you make it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm actually gonna be second AC this week on a short film, and historically, I've never liked to be second AC.
You gotta have
As someone who wants to be in the camera department, I suddenly love it. I
Are
suddenly love it.
you?
I know how to do it so well. But
So
no,
you?
because like I was like my group of friends at San Diego State were like the resident genie team. Like we're the only
Uh,
people that actually like to do grip or electric work because no one wants
wow.
to do that.
Yeah, it's your
Yeah. And
saints.
like the thing about that too is like, genie, you set up the lights or whatever, then you go sit in the corner somewhere and just chill. And I think that's why I didn't like second AC because you have to be on
Mm.
it as
Yeah,
AC the
yeah.
whole time. And I guess I just like got lazy. But I'm like, no, actually I like to be in the action. So I changed my mindset around that.
Okay, you'll enjoy it. I expect every single slate to be clean,
I know,
loud,
clean,
crisp.
loud,
Yes, and
crisp, yeah.
go practice the one-handed slate
No
too.
second sticks.
No,
No one's deaf from the
yeah,
marker.
don't blow out the town's ears
Yep.
right in
Yeah.
your face.
Yeah. No, it's like such a funny thing because it's like my brother's graduating from UCSD, right? And he's facing that dilemma of like, what do I actually do? Like, I got this degree now, but like, what if I don't even want to use it?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, and I'm just like, Tristan, like you see me doing what I'm doing, and I'm like, I love it, and like I know at least generally what I want to do, but like I still don't exactly know what I want to do. So
And that's all right.
yeah, I'm
That's
like, that's
perfectly
right.
okay.
I've
Yeah.
been out here for the past 4 or 5 years, and I still am figuring it out. So it's just a process, always.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we're figuring it out.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously, we're like the best, like extroverted people to be
Mm.
doing this kind of thing.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but like, I don't want to keep you longer. Though, I mean, I'm not that I'm not having a good time because I am. But I'm like, what else do we talk about? That's like my whole life. It's like, okay, like
And
I
that's all
love
right.
this person, but like I don't know what to say more.
No, that's all right. I think a nice thing, when with friends is when you can definitely like be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's like I don't
so
feel the pressure to. It's like I think in my mind I'm always like, okay, don't waste that person's time, which like is obviously a deeper issue. But like
no, I'll tell you now if that's crossing your mind, you're not. This is I'm so happy to be here and very honored that you asked me to be your second guest on the
yeah,
show. So yeah, don't sweat that.
cool.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah, I'm just airing my insecurities
That's
online.
okay.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm good at.
Well, you're being very vulnerable. So
I'm like, I'm the host, and you're like comforting me.
no, this is it doesn't have to be. Yeah, we're having a chat. We're two friends having a chat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's only fair. Like, is there anything you want to ask me? I have some
Oh,
questions that I'm thinking of right now, but like,
okay. You're buying time.
I also think
Good.
like it should be fair. I'm definitely like as at least a director on hiatus. I believe in empathy, and I will never make someone do something that I'm not comfortable with.
Oh, yeah. That's very.
Yeah.
That's a great way about things.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, that's true, and I think that's why sometimes directors who are actors are sometimes bad. Are really good at their job because they know what the actors are doing.
You know what I'm going through. Like I may not exactly know like because any acting I've done is not really great, but yeah, I've definitely had moments where like I just hug the actor if they're okay with it.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah.
okay to hug them. Then I'll hug them as long as they need me to, and then we'll take two. Take two up. Just kidding.
We're adding this to the list of hire or work with Marissa. That's
uh,
so do I have questions for you? Is what
yeah,
you're saying?
not.
Man,
This is a back and forth. This is a give and take.
yeah, that's awesome. Did you didn't say your favorite movie, did you?
My favorite movie, okay, it just depends on what day it is. I either say
Mm.
Nacho Libre, and if I
Oh,
feel
you
like
did say Nacho Libre.
I
Oh,
feel like
look at
if
me,
someone's gonna
bad.
really judge me, then I will say The Shining, because
Oh, okay.
they're honestly on the same like ranking, but it's like obviously they're totally different
Yeah. I'm so
movies.
sorry. You did say your favorite movie, and
No, you're totally cool. No, it's
Do
fine. Like
you
no,
have a letterbox?
I do. It's been a while. It's like one of those things where it's like I'll log on and I'm like obsessed and I want to like rate every
Yeah.
movie, and then I'll like forget about it.
Mm. That helps me when people ask me what my favorite movie is
Yeah,
because
to
I have
remind
to
you.
like,
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah.
think at the top of the head, like like when I say favorite movie, right? I think people, especially if they're not like into film or like filmmaking, they think that like, oh, that's kind of the movie that you want to make. It's like, no, I just like really enjoy that movie, and it
Mm.
may not even be for like filmmaker reasons. It's just like, no, it's like I love watching it. I could watch that so many times and I'd be like stoked for it. Or like if someone puts it on, I'm gonna sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
I say Nacho Libre, The Shining. I mean, I don't think I'm always gonna watch The Shining because even though I've seen it so many times, it's freaking creepy. I like Juno.
Okay.
Like 500 Days of Summer. I think a lot of people our age bracket loves that movie. It's a good one. There's another one I always forget. Oh, Scott Pilgrim, obviously.
Oh yeah. I trying to have a.
You need to watch it. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is up there now. It's
I can see that because I saw some of I saw a VFX breakdown of it,
yeah,
and
it's
I was like, oh yeah. I
yeah,
already wanted to watch it, and I was like, oh, I definitely.
yeah, it's dope. Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a question for you.
Okay, yeah. What's up?
Yeah, but it's a you're gonna laugh. What is a piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
Oh god. Um, I would say don't be afraid to do what you actually do. You want to do.
Well,
I think there are moments that I felt like I had to fill a role
mm,
because that's the role I already like said I wanted to do, or that's what people I had the reputation as.
uh-huh,
But if you didn't really like it, or if you even had the inkling of like, but I want to try this, even if it was just once, like don't stop yourself from doing that, because I feel
uh-huh,
like with filmmaking, or even I think art is in general, is about like exploration, experimentation, and it's like it's not like a job where you have to do it XYZ or else it will come out wrong. It's
yeah,
like define what works for you. And as I said, like it's even now I'm still always like questioning about what I want my career to look like, or what kind of filmmaker I want to be. And even now it's like it's not like I don't know, but I feel like I think I know in my heart that like what I want doesn't really exist yet. So I
okay,
have to make it myself. And I'm
that's
not saying
cool.
this, but just in terms of like what my life, like work life balance looks like it doesn't really exist. Like there's no one I
Yeah,
run to. I mean, there's some people, but it's not like that's the exact thing. And I think I
no,
just
yeah,
over the fact of, for one, it's like I need to stop looking elsewhere because I know what it is that I want. And two, I need
mm,
to stop trying to explain it to people because like, you as filmmakers, right? When we're trying to pitch our films, we always say like it's gonna look like Blade Runner or it's gonna look like this. Like it's hard to pitch it without like a frame of reference. So I'm kind of
uh-huh,
in a place where it's like, don't be afraid to like go after what you actually want, and also like you don't need to explain that to other people.
yeah.
It doesn't need to make sense.
Wow, that's really good advice to a younger self.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
definitely still need to like tell myself often, but
yeah,
yeah, I think that's what I would say. It's like, yeah, don't
yeah.
be afraid to go after what you really want or to step into the role that you really want.
Mm.
Is
Well, I
my
can see you're taking that to heart. I can see that.
It's scary, but yeah, no, I can't let like outside things like get in the way
Yeah,
or discourage me because it's like, nah. I feel like you have to be a little bit like not like obviously people that care about you, like they say things because they care about you, but also knowing at the end of the day, it's like as long as like you're making, pushing the needle forward a little bit
uh-huh,
towards, whatever and you're taking care of yourself, like you're fine. And
Definitely.
there's just going to be a lot of pockets of like uncertainty of like, I don't really know if this is going to pan out, but
yeah. No, and that's kind of when you know that you're doing something, really like that you're doing something special, or you're really doing something that people hasn't really been done before, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, like the fact that that like filmmaking is so accessible now, like the fact that you guys are running like a YouTube channel, and this is like a video podcast, and I just had you sent me a link, and now we're on YouTube.
Yeah, like I'm talking to you.
So, yeah, I mean that's crazy, and that's awesome. So,
yeah,
great advice. That's good advice.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I try to like. It's one of those things where I used to be like really insecure about like my path and like trying to again make people like understand or see it, but I'm like, I
like
barely can see it, and not even in like a cynical way, but it's just like if I am like every day paving it for myself, then it's like it's gonna be very hard for me to like shine a light on it for other people. And even then it's like, well, they don't have to walk that path like I do. So like what? I don't need to like sell it to them either.
No, you don't need you're right. You shouldn't have to feel like you need to explain it yourself to and the results do, and they do speak for themselves, and they will speak for themselves. So even if they don't understand it now, like I know you've been putting in the work and you're gonna keep doing it. So it's
Thank you.
They'll see.
Also, I just saw a hummingbird right behind you.
Oh, did you? Yeah, they fly here.
That's a very personally like good sign.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're doing.
They heard what you were talking about.
I heard this good conversation. Yeah, I mean, I may like pass. I mean, I know the original question was like advice, but like for you, like what would you tell your younger self, or even what is something that you come back to when you feel like whatever, like you want to give up, or
oh man,
along those lines.
Yeah, wow, that for some reason when I asked you the question, I wasn't thinking it was going to be that deep, but then now that I think about it, of course it would be. One thing that just when I think of my younger self, I just automatically think of someone who like thinks, well, like the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely think of that. I think I'm now at a healthy place in terms of like self awareness and image and whatnot. I was definitely when you're like a kid and like you're not that confident or whatever, but then you also simultaneously think you like know everything about filmmaking or whatever.
Yeah.
I would just tell younger Nolan, like, not everything has to be shot wide open, like, like just stop it down if you light your subject a little bit.
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be 1.8 and blurry, and not even their whole face is in focus. That's probably. And I think my work would be a lot less amateurish, or it would at least hold up a little bit better today, if only the aperture was a little smaller. But not to mention all the sound problems. But no, man, you had such deep advice.
No.
I think I would just say yours. I would definitely would just say like, and this is actually, I'm kind of glad you said it, or what you said, because I also agree. Like, where I'm at now in my life, where it's like, yeah, like it is kind of hard to not verbalize, but it's hard to like explain kind of like how filmmaking works as a career. And so I'm, as someone who's like doing that but also doing other stuff, it does come up, and you do have to just kind of like trust in yourself and kind of have confidence, but obviously not arrogance. And just know that if you are doing the work and being honest with yourself and doing the right things the right way, I think it will work out. And all the people I know who are in this position or have been, and I've yeah I've yet to see someone really fail if they were really like putting all themselves into it. And I know that that's also there's like a point of privilege there too, to like be able, like, for some of us to like be able to have the ability to like be
Yeah.
able to like know that like that there is some room to fail if there, because like
Yeah,
because
yeah,
right,
for sure.
yeah,
Like, I definitely have that for sure. Like, my
yeah,
family would never let me like live on the street, like for sure. So, and I know a lot of
yeah,
people don't have that. So,
uh,
I definitely recognize that as well.
but yeah, so I mean, yeah, but just trying to be a good person and make work that's important, and yeah,
Yeah.
and
No, I mean, I
I
think
don't
you
know.
like summed it up. Like, even like just earlier too, I was like, of course, there's like big ideas that I hope to be a part of, or like even it come from me and like my own perspective someday. But like, truly, like, I think I'm in a place where like I love the craft so much that I'm just happy to be part of it in some way,
Mhm.
shape, or form. And as you said, like, yeah, you don't need to like prove it to anybody. And if anything, I've always been the type of like artist to like, I'm not one, like we already talked about this before, but like I'm not a big social media person. I'm the
Yeah,
type of like just let my like work speak for itself, whether it's like a film or just something I made. Like I'll post the link maybe once, and then like you watch it or you don't, like that's fine. But it'll like I just always have like the hope that I'll reach like at least one person that will like it or like resonate with it, and like that's
yeah.
cool. That's like more than enough for me.
Definitely, and it's sometimes hard. I mean, I'm sure you all have experienced this with your YouTube channel, and it's like, yeah, the fact that you have like, I don't know what your sub count doesn't matter or whatever, but the fact that you have subscribers and you have views and what, and like it shows that like there are people who are actually there on the
Yeah.
other side, and they're
Yeah.
like watching this, and that's crazy, and sometimes it's hard to forget, or easy to forget, because
Yeah.
it's like yeah, even if you're not making film for other people, because yeah, like, you can make it for yourself, like it does have the ability to like touch people even if you don't think it is. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we should both remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so too. Because yeah, I think it's very easy to get into like the trap of like, well, like what I have to say doesn't matter, or like feel like very like self-serving when it's just like, no, I think most people are good at like knowing when someone is just like doing it for them. Obviously you're doing it for yourself, but like only doing it for themselves.
Mm,
I think
yeah.
it's not too hard to like figure that out about people sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think like with art or even just like anything visual or anything like you make or create or put out into the world, it's like for one, like I think when in the process, right, the process of making it, that's for you.
Mhm.
Putting it out there, that's for somebody else. That's for people
Dang.
to see it.
There you are again. That's
Kind of
good.
like
That's a good one.
there's two kind of like births of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's things that
No.
I think about sometimes. Like it's no longer yours, right? It's no longer
Uh,
yours. Everyone's gonna
yeah.
interpret it differently, see it differently, even sometimes poorly. They might receive it
Yeah.
poorly, but like that's part
Yeah.
of it too.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. No.
yeah,
I, wow. Yeah. No, you're so right. I've been on both sides of that
yeah,
spectrum. I've experienced both sides of that spectrum, and
yeah,
it's tough on some ends, but it's also like really rewarding on
mhm,
others. So wow.
yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Well, no, I mean, I always tell people like my like default is actually introspection. Like I'm actually always like here, like inside, which is like for the most part a good thing, but like also sometimes I'm like, yo, you need to like turn it off because like you're out at this party with
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to have people around you that help pull that out of you and
yeah, yeah,
get you
yeah.
out of there. And
Yeah, but I think I
yeah.
think I'll end it with this like I also heard this good piece of advice of the only two people you have to impress are your 5-year-old self and your 90-year-old self.
Ooh,
So
wow. I've never heard that one before.
you can talk to one of them or both of them, but like, what would you tell 5-year-old Nolan or 90-year-old Nolan?
Wow. That's a good one. That's no. I'm gonna. I'll ruminate on that one for a while.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, was that a question? Like, did
Yeah,
you
no,
want me
I
to?
mean, like, you can.
Oh, I thought it was more
You
just like
don't need
oh,
to.
you've just been
I
about
honestly
it.
thinking about it, like, what would I say? And it's just like,
Mm,
it doesn't have to be anything deep. I think for me,
yeah.
like, I'll go first just because I know that's kind of weird
Oh,
question.
okay. Okay.
5-year-old stuff, I would just tell her that she is seen and people care about what she says. And 90-year-old me, I would say, like, I'm gonna make you proud. Like, I won't give up on us. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna push. Yeah.
We'll be cool. We'll be cool 9-year-old grandma.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be the dopest
Yeah.
9-year-old Lola. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think definitely do a 5-year-old. Man, 5-year-olds don't know anything. So I would just tell them. You're gonna do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh my god, that's so cool. Thinking about when I was 5 years old, yeah, I think I just say, oh, you'll do this cool stuff and this cool stuff, and you'd be like, oh, okay, go with me.
Mhm.
And then at 90, I would want to tell myself that, like, yeah, you did something like being meaningful, like
Yeah.
you, even if like there were stretches of time that was hard, or yeah, or like I'm sure. I mean, we're both under 30. We're gonna have a lot of life to live and a lot of struggle left. But yeah, that I came out the other side and hopefully did a good thing for the world, or at least something.
I feel like you already have. So.
Oh, well, that's really generous.
All right. Well, no, I mean, thank you again, Nolan, for sitting here and talking with me and being an introvert with me.
Oh
And
yeah.
no, I appreciate it. I think we'll end it with, like, again, I know we're not social media people, but if you want to plug anything, now's your time.
Man. Yeah, I'm not good at social media, but I guess I will. If I do end up doing stuff with film, I would post about it on Instagram.
Okay.
And I'm stuck with this name because it's what I've decided, and as like a 16-year-old would be cool. It's at Phase V Films. So Phase, not Phase. People think Phase like FAZE, like the Phase Clan or something, but like PHASE, letter V Films. I'll post there, maybe. I haven't posted in like 2 years, but maybe I will.
I feel like that's the mark of, like, a true artist. Like, most of my favorite musicians don't do social media, so I think
the coolest ones are the ones who have like so many followers. Oh, I mean,
they
maybe
like
not
post
for
like every 2 years, and it's like, how dare he posted?
Yeah, maybe not for the same reasons for me, but yeah, I'll take that. I guess I'll say watch my film if you want. If you're Filipino, if you're not, I haven't really been plugging it that. Yeah, if you want, it's
a award-winning film.
It's a coming of age film, kind of. It's really short. Hope you enjoy it.
It's really good.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll.
And make sure. Wait, sorry to cut you off. Make sure to watch the next episode of this. Whoever's on here,
thank you.
and subscribe.
Yes.
Make sure to hit that notification bell to get updates on every video.
Yeah, we'll see you next month for Let's Make a Scene with Trixie and/or Adrian, and then someone else, and then I'll come back in June with another behind the scene because we switch off. But yeah, thanks everyone. See ya.
Thank you.